Well, first of all, just, that's a really, 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 really good Harvard team. Very well coached. Thought they played hard. We got them into foul trouble. They wouldn't go away. And so that is a very tough, gritty group that came in here and, kind of punched us in the mouth that first quarter. Give our kids credit for battling back because they did, as we knew they would. They were not going to go down with the fight. But you look at the stat sheet and you can, I guess, they got, 17 more shots than we did because of our 27 turnovers. However, we get to the line 38 times, to their 68. So, I guess you could look at that two different ways. But just, didn't shoot it well, except for the second quarter. Nothing. Our scores in terms of Yarden and Chloe and Sid, you look at their stat sheets, it's just not good enough. Going down the stretch there, we were trying to attack. I think Yarden, got a little overzealous at times, and she's going to have to do a better job of reading what the defense gives her. And she draws so much attention, and she's such a smart player. For her willingness to kick that thing out and not, either take a bad shot and or charge is something that we got to continue to show her, and she has to grow as a basketball player. And so, there's no doubt that we're disappointed. You look at the stat sheet, they had 32 points off of our turnovers. They had more points in the paint. Fast break baskets, we didn't have any. They had 16. Their bench came in, gave them 23, and we got 7 from ours. So disappointed, but give Harvard credit. They came in and really did a nice job against us.
Teri, obviously you saw a lot of red flags from the game on Monday. I guess just how did you approach the last couple days with the team after that? How satisfied were you with the way they responded in practice? And I guess what approach are you going to take after this one?
Well, I will say that they responded, Seth, in how I thought they would. Disappointed, understood that 18 turnovers, 11 threes is just too many. And they understood that they had to be so much better. And so I liked, especially last night, Tuesday, is that right? Tuesday was a little funky because we watched a lot of film. And then we're going in the morning right now, and I have kids that have 1 o'clock classes. So that I had about 7 of them that had to leave early. And so it wasn't a full practice, but last night was. And, they met as a team before practice, and focus was great. I think they were really excited about getting back on the floor, and I just felt like their focus was where it needed to be. But again, going back to Harvard, I mean, they came out in that first quarter, and not only the press, but their physicality. I mean, they were physical with us. Nothing that we did was easy, and so that's disappointing that we didn't match that physicality, but we didn't handle it better. And so we'll have to go back and watch some of the things that went wrong and just keep chipping away. And this is not the team it was a year ago, and so we have a lot of room to improve and grow. And we will. This is a team full of competitors, and it may take us a minute, a couple games. I hope it's just a couple to start figuring some things out. But I feel like we're better shooters than we displayed tonight. And like I said, it's disappointing. But I did like how they responded. Going back to your question.
Teri, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but what was your Harvard presses? I mean, they forced 33 turnovers in the first game, and so what was your level of surprise that the team didn't respond to the press early and the physicality that you mentioned?
Yeah, because it's not like we've seen a lot of different presses in the Big Ten, especially, when you think about Ohio State, and we've really felt like, we probably started working on our press attack far earlier than we ever have, because we always, we have felt like that's been a little bit of Achilles heel for us. And so, and some of those, Todd, were just, we just threw it right to them, and so there's a lot of them to sift through on film, but, it's disappointing that we didn't handle that piece of it better, because it wasn't a surprise. We worked on it. We've talked about it. We knew they were going to press. They knew even on, especially on made baskets, dead balls, missed baskets, we knew they were going to come back in the backcourt and just try to be there, be pesky. And so, there were moments where we panicked. There were moments where they sped us up. And so those are all things that are hard lessons, but they're lessons that we have to learn, and we got to take those lessons and improve.
There was a play late in the overtime, or early in the overtime, I guess, where Sydney just kind of inbounded the ball and Chloe just took her eyes off of it and lost it. Does that, when you see that as a coach, and there were a couple of plays like that throughout the game where it's unforced,
Right.
Worry about the psyche of the team, like where that's coming from?
That's a
Because
great
you're not
question.
a veteran team. It's
Yeah.
not like she's a freshman,
you're
or you
absolutely
just
right.
had those mistakes. And does that make you kind of worry, or kind of where to pinpoint kind of what's happening?
I don't. I think it's too, and I'm not sure that I'm worried. It's early, right? Is it perplexing? Yeah, it's perplexing to me how we are a veteran team. You hit it on the head, and how we can have those moments. We had them against Brown, where we entered the ball and it went out of our hands on just a simple entry to the wing. Yarden, throws it ahead to Jules, and it somehow goes out of bounds. We dribbled it off our leg a couple times. Those are uncharacteristic of us, and I get it. That's not what we normally look like. We haven't looked like that. And so I don't, I'm more perplexed by it than I am worried, because I know this group well enough to know that they are competitors. They want to get it right, and I'm confident that they will. But it's nights like tonight that you do scratch your head and you go, I thought that the Brown game would have been a really great lesson for us to learn. Like, we just can't have those unforced turnovers. But here we are tonight against a team that, again, sped us up. They pressed us a little bit different than Brown did. But, there were a couple of those that were you just shake your head and go, I'm not sure why that's happening. So I wish I had a better answer.
Teri, there were a few times in the second half especially, and after your run at the end of the second quarter, when you got all the way back. They had their lead, you came back, it was tied, you got ahead. Did you have any moments on the bench there where you were thinking, okay, we might get this under control, we might be able to put them?
Yeah, I think when we were up 3 and they advanced the ball, I thought we all, we were going to try to switch everything. And they ran a double, like a high double stagger into a ghost, which is really a great call. Great play call from Carey. But that can cause some confusion. Ghost screens, they're fake screens. I felt like that group, leaving the timeout, they knew that they had to get the stop. And if they got the stop, then there was probably a good chance they were going to get out of here with a win. But the kid, hits the shot. So.
Teri, you talked about how Chloe, Sid, and Yarden are kind of your 3 main scorers earlier. Between the 3 of them, they just shot 1 field goal in overtime. Just how do you make sure they are getting those looks down the stretch of games?
Well, you try to put the ball in their hand, which is what we did. It's just that they got to be better decision makers when they draw, you know, in those moments when they're drawing so much help. Their willingness to be able to find, you know, either the drop and or the kick out, you know, because you know, and again, Yarden, you know, puts the ball on the deck and there's 3 defenders that are running at her, right? And she keeps going, and the one, obviously she charges, but, you know, I'd have to go back on film, but there's no doubt that there's probably 2 people on that side, on the strong side, that's wide open. And those are decisions that she's going to have to improve and get better at. And she's a smart player. It's just that I think Yarden was trying to will her team to a win. So if she's guilty of anything, it's just trying to be a playmaker for us and, you know, trying to score.
Teri, you guys have about a week to your next game. What's the message moving forward, and what do you hope to see from your team?
Well, you know, again, it's early in the season, and you know, I always say, you know, one game, although it's super disappointed, it can't break our heart where we can't return here. We're going to take tomorrow off on Saturday and get back to work. That's you know, all that we know around here. So it's disappointing. Give credit to Harvard. That's a really good basketball team. And we're going to have to, you know, go back and watch film and learn and just keep trying to chip away. We got to keep showing up and doing the work and improving, you know, as a basketball team. I don't think anybody has hit the panic button quite yet. You know, and I think Sid said it to you guys against Brown, this is not the team of last year. There's new pieces that we're trying, and they're all trying to still figure out how that all works together, you know. You know, it may not happen as early as our fans, and maybe as we would like, how quickly, you know, as we would like. But we have to stick to the process of just trying to improve a little bit more every day, and take those moments where they're, you know, the turnovers and the poor decisions or the choices that we made, and we got to be better come next week.